Hey, Life Fixers. Hope you're having an awesome day. Are you ready to rewire your brain to become more creative? Yes, it's a real thing. You are not stuck in a certain box with a certain number of how creative you are. You can become more creative. Now, if you've been listening to this for a while and you've listened to any episodes that mention the non-dominant hand, you know exactly what I'm going to be talking about. Actually, every single time when I need to design something and I'm not sure how to do it, when I need to speak to someone, I need to come up with a creative way to speak to them, when I am just not sure how else I could come up with a solution, where do I go? My non-dominant hand. Now, why does writing, scribbling, painting, playing with clay, doing anything with your non-dominant hand actually help you become more creative? Well, first of all, you are creating new neuron connections. You are creating new pathways in your brain that haven't been there before. So all of a sudden, instead of it having to go on the same track it's been going the entire time, it now has to create new ones. It has to move certain things, build certain things that will make you more creative because it now has to figure out how it's going to be able to do it. Also, there are no blockages in that pathway. With using your non-dominant hand, you have to create new pathways, and there's nothing from the outside of what we heard. There's no stories that people told us when we were younger, comments people said, things that we read on social media, things that we watch, just what our lives are bombed at us. None of those messages are allowed to come in when we're doing with our non-dominant hand, because our non-dominant hand, we don't think about it. We go straight to the subconscious. We let that part talk to us and we don't think about anything else. So just with that is going to make you more creative. Also, now this gets very controversial about whether it really is or it isn't. So I'll just throw it out there, but don't take it as a fact that we all know there are two hemispheres of the brain, right? The right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. And each side of the body is controlled by the opposite side of your brain. Now, the left side of your brain is in charge of the logic, math, reading, time, order. Anything that's logical goes with your left side of your brain. And anything that's creative, art, music, drama, all those sort of things are on your right side of your brain. Now, most people are righties, and when you're writing with your right hand, you are using a lot more of your left side of your brain. And when you are writing with your non-dominant hand, which for most people it's the left hand, then you're going more into the right side of the brain. Now, I don't love this because A, not everyone's righties. B, even when we are writing, we're doing something with our dominant hand, we are going back and forth between both sides of the brain, because when we happen to the emotional part, we are going to the right side of the brain. When we are coming up with something creative, then we're going to the right side of the brain. So I don't love it, but it's another perspective that some people say. I think it's a little bit just outdated. I rather just say that, or what I know for a fact as of now, like my love-hate relationship with science, that I love it because it teaches us so much, but I hate it because it's constantly changing and we don't really know 1,000% it's fact, because they might find something else new tomorrow. But we have inside our brain the limbic system, and by writing with our non-dominant hand, we get backdoor access to our limbic system, to our amygdala, where all our emotions are, where a lot of the creativity is. And so we could get direct access to that without all those blockages that I was talking about before. So how do you become more creative? Use your non-dominant hand. It works for me every single time. Now, I'm just going to warn you, disclaimer, this is your first time doing it and might not work because your body has to trust it. This is a very vulnerable part of your brain. So you will have to do it once. You might have to do it twice. You might have to do it 3 times, but eventually as you continue to do it, you continue to listen to what this part of your brain is telling you to do, then it will trust you and open up and do more of it. So if, let's say, you need to design something, or you need to plan a party, or you need to reorganize your house, or you need to find some sort of creative way to speak to your 3-year-old who's just not listening to you, take a pen, funner, take a marker, take a crayon, take paint, and scribble or write with your non-dominant hand. Now, don't think, just let it come all out and watch what happens. Now, for those of you that are curious why I picked becoming more creative after this episode with Kimberly, and that is because she is super creative person, written all over her. She did it starting from writing a book when she was 8, which, yes, I'm going to guess she did it with her dominant hand. And yes, I'm going to guess today she probably types them. And yes, I have no idea if she's righty or lefty, but she for sure had to use the creative side of her brain by being able to go and do that. So you guys go become more creative, go have fun, go enjoy life. If you have any questions that you want to be answered on the podcast, we are preparing for our 300th episode, and I want your questions to be answered. So go to lifepicksuniversity.com/podcast. There's a place right there for you to put in all your podcast questions. I'd love to be able to answer you and help you. So have an awesome rest of your day. Go do something fun, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.
That's all for this episode of the Life Picks University podcast, but I have a huge favor to ask of you that will not only support the show, but will also help the people you love most. We are striving for 1 million downloads by the end of 2025, and we can't do this without your help. If you love this episode, please share it with 2 of your family and friends so they too can rewire their brains to have an extraordinary marriage. It was awesome spending time with you, and I'll see you on the next episode.